sure is what we're looking for?
Minister, he's ideal.
I would have come sooner, but the accident tied me up.
Yes, I know. As soon as the casualties were brought in, I did some tests. On the off chance. I never expected this.
You use my choir, public servants.
Beggars can't be choosers, Minister.
Carl Dietrich, from the Senior Executive Service. He was a champion athlete and Harkness Fellow. Maybe you're right. He would make a good donor for me.
Well, I'm afraid he's not the one, sir. Didn't respond to the second injection. Anaphylactic shock. Next bed over. That's your perfect match. Same blood type, T cells, even cholesterol. Apart from age, you two are almost biological bookends. So I think you should prepare for surgery, sir.
You look terrific, doesn't he, Frank? Colour back in your cheeks and everything.
Mum, that's a bruise.
Shh. Another mouthful, sweetheart. You can't smoke in here.
Well, who's going to notice? They're all unconscious.
It's all right, love. Just swallow.
You made the papers, Half. Last week, listen. 9 public service clerks received minor injuries yesterday when the lift they were travelling in had a vertical disorder.
Frank!
Mark Nichols, Minister.
Get well soon, Mark. The service is proud of you. You'll be up and singing in no time.
I say. And this is Harvey McHugh.
Ah, yes. We're old mates. I'm sorry about the accident, Harvey. How are you feeling? And you must be...
Monica McHugh, Harvey's mother. You went to Harvey's school, Minister.
Oh, so he tells me.
You were there when his dad drowned at Harvey's first communion.
Mum.
Ted was in land tax.
Yes, I remember. Very, very tragic. A pleasure to have met you.
And this is Paul McGinnis. Did you notice? Neither of you has a scar on the head. That laser was a good investment. Well worth 17 cents.
There'll be no more research funds, I'm afraid.
What?
McHugh ruined everything. He wasn't satisfied with the domestic animal deduction, so he accessed God.
You can't access God.
He accessed God. He knows the money's been going to you and Conquest. I tried to cover as best I could, but I had no choice but to fix things.
I'm glad I didn't know that before the operation. You'd have been like this if it weren't for me.
Victor, I'll find you more money from somewhere.
Delirium, blindness, senility, death.
Must you always be so gruesome?
Endelbaum syndrome is gruesome, Minister. It's not a pretty sight when the brain's immune system starts to break down. See what I saved you from? Well worth the 17 cents, I'd have thought. Last year in New York, at the conference on Endelbaums. I've never been laughed at publicly before.
You wouldn't last a week in politics.
At least I'm not hamstrung by ethics. If you'd gone to them as a patient, they'd have squeezed your hand and talked about Kubler-Ross. But I knew there had to be a cure. If the brain's immune system comes under attack, it should make antibodies. The people with Endelbaums can't. I knew that if I could find the right volunteer and implant a piece of your brain in his skull, he'd contract the disease and make the antibodies for you.
And your theory was right.
Yes, of course.
And what about McHugh?
No, just whiplash from the accident. His hands will shake a little from the drugs.
But he looks as if he's dying.
Well, technically.
So, when will you start taking the antibodies from him?
It's already done, sir. I'll get blood from him every fortnight. It's not hard to extract them. Roll up your sleeve, Minister.
Mum?
Don't worry, Harv. I'm sure they'll have some nice position for you. You were just like this on your first day of school.
Yeah, remember? They had to hose down your desk and spread sand all around. Wait. See you, Mum.
As you have all just witnessed, we run a tight operation. 2 years ago, before our meat industry was nationalised, each beast took at least 12 minutes to process. Now, I'm proud to say, since my government took over, it now occurs within 5. You'll have noticed that the air in here is a little on the thick side. That smell, my friends, is the pall of prosperity. Our standards of hygiene are second to none. Each new arriving animal is carefully tested for disease and infection so that only the purest are slaughtered. The meat that your countries buy is the best in the Western world.
How long do you have to keep doing that?
Until I'm sure you won't get clots. Be a pity to die after all you've been through.
Do you take blood from Carl too?
He wasn't as badly injured as you. He's gone to the Seychelles. Long service leave.
I could go to the Barrier Reef.
You're just about ready to resume full duties. The board's decided to promote you.
Really?
You'll be an AMLO grade 1-2.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thanks. What is that exactly?
Acting meat liaison officer. It's temporary, of course, but...
The abattoir?
You'll get used to it after a while. Now, let's just give you a boost of anti-inflammatory.
Complain to the minister.
It's the minister's decision. You were named in the report, McHugh, the one on the accident. The minister didn't want you to know. Seems the lift was overcrowded and, well, according to Carl, you were the last one in. Now, don't blame yourself. It was just bad luck. The minister's bent over backwards to help you, son. That's why he wants you at the abattoir, to hide you for a while till everyone forgets. Why toss young meat to those wolves in the Union?
You're McHugh, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Lulu Marazzini, acting head slaughter person. Welcome to number 4. Your desk. It's from me.
Thank you. Oh. Oh, it's lovely.
I always take the auspices when a new staff member comes, just so I know how we're going to get along. Look at that. No cysts, no bruising. A liver you could frame. I reckon the gods are smiling on you.
You must be learning to smile more, Harvey McHugh. The Abattoir Social Club is meeting at 4:37. Some beer, some prawns, and a woman who takes off her clothes. Moving, please. Really stinks. Oh, doesn't it just? 400 extra cows I've arrived this morning. Overtime for everyone. We are lucky to be working in such jobs. You will be very happy here, I am thinking.
Not me. I like cows.
Misty, get out of there. Darn cat's been trying to mate with my perming lotion again.
Frank, what are you doing? It smells terrible.
You want to come and fix it?
It's your anniversary soon. You think Frank's got any surprises?
I'd be surprised if he remembered.
Hey.
Now, Gina, he's a very thoughtful boy.
Yes, I am.
No, Frank only remembers the important dates, like football finals or the first time he got drunk.
There are some things I remember.
Now, I don't want to hear about that.
Blood and bone room, sandwich roster, our health and hygiene standards kit program, and our policy on terrorism. After lunch, you countersign the quality control sheets for the meat inspector and check the new arrivals in.
Arrivals?
Livestock? They don't form themselves into queues to be killed.
I can't do that. It's too cruel.
Harvey. A few days' time, you won't even notice. We run an abattoir, mate. Not the Betty Ford Clinic.
I'm sorry he's died, Harvey, but we can't say a rosary for him.
Why, sister?
Because dogs don't go to heaven. They just disappear.
Forever and ever?
Forever and ever. God doesn't love them as much as he loves us. That's right, isn't it, Georgina? Now, who'd like to pray for a suffering soul in purgatory?
If animals aren't allowed into heaven, God shouldn't let them suffer. Sheep and cows and pigs, it doesn't seem fair.
Do you really think God has forgotten about them? Did he not send Noah to save them in the flood?
Some of them. But some nice ones would have drowned.
Faith is never easy, but we must trust in God. For your penance, say 3 rosaries. Now do a good act of contrition.
What? 3 rosaries? You've always had it in for me since I held that séance and asked for Marilyn Monroe.
Go on, this way. Come on, that's it. That's it, come on. This way, come on. Let's go, come on. Come on, come on.
Fella? You must be, Equine 308. I'm Harvey. Aren't you nice? Hey, don't be scared. I've always wanted a horse like you. You're just like Fury, the one on TV.
No fraternising, Harvey. The boys in offal and entrails are waiting for that nag.
Oh, my Lord.
His name's Fury, and it's just until I find him someplace to live.
No. You're taking him back this minute. I can't have a horse in my backyard.
Fury, this is Mum. She makes the best hot oats in Mafeking.
No.
Look, if it wasn't for me, he'd be Glue.
I don't C-A-R-E. You can't go bringing home every stray animal that you meet.
You just love him?
Well, Grandad does, don't you, Grandad?
I think what he'll do for the roses.
Look, I can't have him in my yard. Oh, he's licking me.
That's because he likes you. Look, I checked Fury's file and I found the bloke who used to train him. But once he knows
I can't have him here, Harvey. You heard me. My mind's made up.
Mr. Bannerman? I call him Fury, but I guess you know him as something else. Were you a policeman, Mr. Bannerman?
No. I used to be a farrier.
Why was he sent to the abattoir?
But you don't know, do you? Where you been the last couple of months?
In hospital.
The Princess Royal is clearly impressed by the size of this beautiful car park. She's walking this way to cut the ribbon.
Hey, that's Fury and you.
Her Royal Highness has stopped to converse with a farrier from the mounted police. How regal she looks in her dazzling sky blue. What a moment of pride for... We might cross for a station break. Yes, we're crossing now for a station break.
I thought he was religious and that stealing was a sin.
Are you sure about this?
Horses at home in his backyard. You realise what he's done, don't you? He's made a decision. A public servant has made a decision. He's prepared to be accountable.
The abattoir's upsetting him, sir. Perhaps you shouldn't keep him there. If he's under stress, his health could suffer.
We went to the same school, McHugh and I. I used to hold the infants up to reach the bubblers.
That's very decent of you, sir.
Sometimes they'd drop their lunch money, if you shook them. A few weeks round animals won't hurt him.
But, sir...
Let's see if McHugh is too good to be true.
Their Highness was terrific. She'd been around thoroughbreds all her life.
Once a horse gets aroused, I guess it's hard for him to hide it.
Yeah, well, he couldn't hide that in a circus tent. He's trained for parades. He's never done this. Next day, I got retrenched.
It was an accident.
No, that's not what the blokes on the force heard. I reckon the GMO got hold of him. And the government medical officer.
Dr. Voisner?
He was doing things to Fury. What's it called? Conditioning? He'd play Advance Australia Fair, and then he'd bring a filly in. Oh, well, whenever Fury heard the anthem, he'd think it was time for nookie.
Dr. Voisner wouldn't do that. He practically saved my life.
Yeah, well, whoever it was, they did a good job. The whole government's been praying for something like this. It's an excuse to ditch the palms and declare our independence. Anyway. Too late for regrets, eh? That horse has destroyed me.
Mr. Bannerman. He misses you.
I know you only like kangaroo, but you'll just have to make do with sardines tonight. Now, don't glare at me, mister. There are cats in India starving. Oh, Harvey and his pets. Oh, damn. Tomorrow it's the canal for both of you. Oh, I'll jump in myself if this keeps up.
Oh, here, let me. He likes sugar in them sometimes.
Mum, this is Mr. Bannerman.
Bernard.
Bernard trained Fury. This is...
Monica. Hello. You should have told me there was a guest for dinner, Harv.
Oh, I'm not staying. I'll just say hi to my mate. I'll get out of your way.
Oh, in the way, when you've practically cleaned my kitchen. Oh, feed him, will you, Harv?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd have taken Fury myself, only I've been living in a flat since my wife departed. You must let me pay you for the oats.
Oh, nonsense. He's one of the family now, isn't he, Dad? You keep your money, you hear me?
I know where Harvey gets it from. His gentle heart and his great big eyes.
Bernard, Fury's waiting for you.
Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. I can't tell you how much I've missed him. Yeah, I'll sort all this out. You just relax.
Equine 308 is missing. Nothing walks, crawls or slides out of number 4 without my permission, understand?
He's just an old horse.
He's government property.
Then I'll buy him.
Harvey. What you've done with a horse, it's kind of like a marriage. One day you'll wake up and you'll find 308 beside you, dribbling on your pillow, breaking wind in your bed, and you'll say to yourself, how did I get into this?
I'm all he's got and I won't bring him back. Haven't you ever felt sorry for anything?
Yes. Once. A guide dog. Rinty. They sent him here when he went colourblind. He kept on leading his owners across red lights. Dumb little mutt. No, I don't know why, but I really felt sorry for him. So I took him home.
Did they find out?
They find out everything. They gave me a choice. Either Rinty or a big promotion. First woman in charge of a government slaughterhouse.
You sent him back.
What is it?
When animals die, it's just all darkness.
Privatisation, privatisation, who'll buy a national utility for me? And I smiled as I rose to him.
This is mega confidential, okay? Heard on the vine that they've emptied Carl's locker. Some grade 9 10s drew lots for his car space. You don't do that when you're just on leave. I reckon he's dead. They're pretending he's alive, so the coroner won't investigate. Everyone knows this building's a death trap. That snitchel was terrific. Reckon I've got room for another.
These blood types are different. This isn't yours. Oh, Brock, my poor darling.
Clarissa, what are you doing here?
I had to finish these blood tests I promised Dr. Novak.
Look a bit pale.
I'm fine, really.
Are you sure it's wise we're working so late? Look, I know what you're trying to do, but
To Monica, thank you for making my heart beat faster. Bernard Bannerman.
Do you?
Listen, Jude. Don't let Carl be dead. It wasn't my fault he asked me into the lift. And the animals. Can't God just let a few into heaven? Listen, Jude. Am I ever going to be happy?
Our meat stands for strength, for health, and for nourishment. Every exported steak is an ambassador for this country, proclaiming our greatness to the tables of the world. Slaughterpersons, colleagues, distinguished guests, with one pull of this lever, I shall give to Australia a state-of-the-art life removal machine that will set new standards in hygienic carcass creation. Ladies and gentlemen, Hawk 2000.
Did you do it?
Yeah, wasn't easy. They've really clamped down on people using God.
Well?
Carl's listed as being on long service leave. God didn't say where, but he's still on the payroll.
Oh, fantastic, he's alive. Well, it wouldn't have shown up if he wasn't.
Maybe. I've lost a lot of my trust in God. He's been making his fair share of mistakes these days.
No one pays a dead man's salary, not even the public service.
Half the public service is dead. Oh, OK. Carl didn't cark it after all. Just shows you how wrong some rumours can be.
Thanks, Morris. I won't forget this.